here meditating and pondering on the ways of the world today. Thinking of my people Africa and the state of the continent today. How mothers fed their children today. As granny goes down on her knees every day and prays. How many souls are dying from causes that could be prevented? If we did have leaders who cared for us today. Oh, 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 oh. Zion, Yahweh. Zion, Yahweh. Zion, Africa, rise, every 4 years, the politicians say he's your servant today. After you vote for them, they metamorphose into your masters. I say, have your say, we'll have our way, yeah. Not no strange, it's cow demon crosses. Meanwhile, souls are dying from causes that could be prevented. If we did have leaders who cared for us today. Zion, Yahweh. Zion, away. Zion, away. Africa, rise.
We can be great. World turbulence among the politics. Never hypocrite, lava. Never ever quit, just a little bit longer. Victory is near, they're gonna disappear, go under. Leaders them no care, never tend to share. Babylon quit, be shedding of blood. Your heart a go suffer if you show no love. Stay away, consciousness. What we call the nation, live on no righteousness. Good night, serve the children there.
I pray for the future generation not to give up this fight. I pray for the children of tomorrow not to sell out their birthright. All right, 1212 Radio Culture. We also live on iCulture TV. Today is the 1st of February, 2025. You are welcome to the show. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in with us today. What are going? All right. My name is Kwesi, a son Bakon. And in a quick minute, we will be bringing you the editorial for the day, after which we will bring you our show. On today's show, we have geriatric expert, Dr. Ben Yeboah, US board certified doctor. He will be talking to us about geriatric health. We'll be looking at some of the complex diseases that he, as a doctor, has to deal with, taking care of old people. Older people. We also have an interview with Farouk Al Wahab. Farouk Al Wahab is an international relations expert, and he will be talking to us about Ghana's relationship, or Ghana's relations with the AES, the Alliance of Sahel States. We'll be zeroing in on the progress of that entity. Is the AES disintegrating the ECOWAS? Does the exit from the ECOWAS make the ECOWAS weaker? What are the implications of drawing out or removing their portion of that region's economy and military force from the ECOWAS? We'll be examining that with Farouk Al Wahab on today's show. Once more, my name is Kwesi, a son Baku. Stick and stay. You're live on iCulture TV. We're also transmitting to you live on Radio Culture. Now, quick announcement. I hear that we are having challenges with with Radio Culture, that is with the main stream on the platform itself. Please bear with us and switch over to another platform. There are way too many platforms. Switch to one of them, please. If you're having issues listening on iCulture, on Radio Culture, the main platform, you can catch us on social media, you can catch us on Modern Ghana, you can catch us on some of the other platforms. All right. So let's go straight away to our first interview of the day, and let's cross over and go speak with Dr. Ben Yeboah, US board certified geriatric physician. Doc, welcome to Radio Culture, iCulture TV.
Thank you.
And for
how do I address you, Ras, or?
You see, interesting question, because I was just about to go there. Full disclosure, I have to do that. Dr. Yeboah is a friend of mine, great friend of mine, way back from St. Peter's Secondary School. So, it's another Pescobar affair again. Thank you very much for making time with us, Doc.
You're welcome. Anytime.
All right. Okay, Doc. So let's start the discussion, Doc. At some point, we invite you to have a fuller discussion, because this is something that we cannot fit into in the context of a morning, like a stream show. It's just like 20 minutes or so. But I would like to speak to you at another time with more detail. But today, let's just touch on as much as we can, Doc. When we say geriatric health, generally speaking, what are we talking about?
So thank you for having me on the show. So geriatric health is simply just caring for elderly patients. And we are talking about people, initially it was people over the ages of 65 and above. I think it's in the Western world, they pegged it to the age of retirement. Most people in the Western world retire around 65. So, but now we have people living and working well into their 70s. So now there's a concept of healthy geriatric folks, which will be people from the ages of 65 to like 75. And then people older than 75 will be the normal geriatric folks. So it encompasses their health, their social needs, and everything that affects their health.
Does this include mental health?
It includes mental health.
Because that's where I want to go with you when we get to Ghana. So please continue.
Yes, it includes mental health. Actually, we have what we call the geriatric syndromes, and that includes, apart from their physical health, the geriatric syndromes usually includes things like depression, dementia, incontinence, mobility issues, falls, weight loss, and believe it or not, food security. Because either they cannot prepare their own foods or they have no means of getting the right food to eat. So there is some food insecurity among elderly patients too.
So Doc, I know you are US board certified and you practice here in the US, right? So a lot of what you're saying will, of course, apply to the United States. Now, I want us to move over to Ghana, right? And everything else that we're going to say, let's look at it within the context of that demographic that you defined for us in Ghana, right? Do you see a structure for taking care of people in that bracket at all in Ghana? Is there a support system? And I'm not talking about the support system, I'm talking about the medical area.
Yeah, so there are a few geriatricians in Ghana. One actually trained here, one was trained in Ghana, who are doing an amazing job in Ghana, considering that we don't have the setup to practice effective geriatrics. And what I mean by practicing effective geriatrics is you need a social worker, you need a physiotherapist or physiotherapist, you need some psychiatrists, you need nurses who are just primarily geriatric care nurses, you need nutritionists, you need so it's a team approach. So you need a lot of medical professionals to enhance the system to work. In Ghana, the care of older folks who heavily relied on a family, but things are shifting now because I can use my own parents-in-law as an example. They are in their 80s, but there's no family around them to help them, so they have to do things by themselves, right? So we don't really have those systems where we can, and if we do, it's usually privately funded. People pay nurses to help their old folks. People pay other workers to help them with their day-to-day chores, like cleaning their homes, providing food for them.
That's right.
It's mainly privately funded. There's no real. Over here we have Medicare, Medicaid, which bear the responsibility of this.
And then there are programs like RAIN, which take food to older folks in their homes, already prepared food. That is right. You'll bring it to them so that they, and sometimes I had a neighbor back in the Bronx, Doc, who would share some of this food with us.
Oh yeah, yes.
But they kept bringing her food that she couldn't even finish everything that they were bringing her. In Ghana, though, what are your recommendations for plugging something like that into our budget, into the politics that we're doing over there, so that we are not saying, oh yeah, we're Busian for so we're leaving everything on the Busian without looking very carefully at that demographic. I believe if we look at that demographic carefully, we will increase the age expectancy in Ghana. Do you agree?
Yes, I'm happy you touched on it. The first thing is recognition. So we have to recognize that there are folks who are old in the community who need the help of, and I think healthcare should be even here in the US. People say they don't like the government in their affairs, but it's mainly government that is spearheading the care and delivery of healthcare for people. So I think government has to be very involved in this, and we have to acknowledge that there are we have older folks in Ghana who do not have the family support that others do. So
Do you see?
there should be.
Do you see the opportunity for private investment, private involvement? That's investor involvement in that area. Is it?
Yes, I do see. I do see opportunity for that. For instance, when people are, when you and I, for instance, we are, if for some reason we get admitted to hospital, we can be discharged and the next day we can go about our duties, right? But for people over the ages of 70, 75, if they are discharged from hospital, they cannot go back immediately into their activities that their baseline, let's say their baseline, where they can do things that they used to do before they went to the hospital. Because it's said that when someone lies in a hospital bed for one day, they lose 15 hours of function. So, and if you hospitalize someone for 10 days, that person has lost like 150 hours of what function. So they don't have the strength. They will need some form of transitional care. So we need transitional care homes in Ghana where people can go there and get a physical therapy or physiotherapy that they need to get their strength back, to go back home to their normal lives.
How about insurance? Do you see opportunity there for privately funded health insurance, for instance?
Yeah, I think the privately funded health insurance can go into this space too, because it's something that people need. We may not be aware that people need transitional care homes to recover, to recuperate, and to go back their day to day. I think something that private healthcare should look at, because over here, private healthcare also pays for people to go to transitional homes after they are discharged. Once it's recommended for, it's not for everybody, but once it's recommended, the private healthcare will pay for at least 1 or 2 weeks for the person to go into these transitional homes to
Absolutely.
get better.
And some of these older folk are people who have worked all their lives, contributed to SNIT, etc. If, for instance, SNIT, as part of the arrangement, has put money aside to pay for that, right?
Yeah.
So that anybody who goes beyond, my dad, as an example, lucky guy, he you know, for some reason they said that he has to show that he's alive every year. So there's some type of process that he has to, go do at SNIT to show. But once that is done, there's an arrangement for him to receive some whatever patents they give him. But if that money, some of that money, for instance, is paid to health insurance, geriatric health insurance, if there's anything like that, I'm just coining that phrase, right? So that older people will have a more quality, more quality life.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
We the focus is quality of life. We want them to have enjoyed their retirement in good health. Absolutely.
So let's branch slightly into mental health, because you've already mentioned some of these factors that some of these what would you call them, symptoms, right, which come with old age. Now, most of these are likely to be misconstrued in Ghana, especially if you are female. In the northern part of Ghana, for instance, we have the witch camps, which there's a campaign to shut down. Everywhere else across Ghana, if you're female and you start exhibiting certain symptoms of certain diseases that in the West are well researched and known, you are likely to be taken for something else, a witch, something, right? Doc, how are we going to take care of this matter for our geriatric folk?
Yeah, we like, it's sad when you read stories like this, that someone who clearly has dementia is being mistaken for a witch and being stoned to death, or head being shaved off their head and all that. It's sad when you hear stories like that. So we have a lot of education to do. I don't know how I got into geriatrics, but maybe it was destiny. I think my dad, who was when I was around 10 years old, my dad was becoming forgetful, and he left home and we never found him again.
Oh, no.
So the recognition, I'm sure if someone had recognized that this man was becoming forgetful and was developing dementia, they would have prevented him from
Would
leaving
have
the
done
house.
more. That's right.
They would have done more. But he packed up his stuff and said he was traveling, and they allowed him to go, and we never found him. So education is key. We have to educate people that when people grow old, the statistics is that 50% of people over the age of 90 will develop dementia. It's not everyone. And as you grow older, so like between the ages of 75 and 85 is about 20 to 30% of people. And then at 90 is about 50%. So when they grow older, and we tend to have more females who are past the age of 65 in that demographic. So I'm not surprised that when they start becoming forgetful and hallucinating a bit, people think they are witch and they mistreat them. But I think education has to go a long way to help the people. The other thing is people do get depressed, and in elderly patients, depression usually starts like irritability. They get annoyed at the least, and not provocation. Everything sort of annoys them. Everything irritates them. So that's how depression is sort of manifested in elderly patients. So they present differently, and it's up to us to educate people to know that these things are treatable, these things are manageable, and we have to educate the public about it.
Doc, now let's look at some of the complex diseases, if we can call them complex, or maybe even if they are simple, I don't know. But what are some of the even common diseases that mostly affect people in that demographic? And I'm talking about in our part of the world, because I know, for instance, that some diseases or some manifestations of some diseases may be more severe in some demographics than in others, right? And I'm even talking about geographical demographics here. But in Ghana, for instance, what are some of the common diseases that you have identified?
I mean, the common diseases are almost the same. I mean, hypertension, diabetes. But what happens is that they may be subject to develop the complications of those diseases. So they are more likely to develop strokes. They are more likely to develop heart attack, and the problems that are associated with these conditions, like congestive heart failure. So it's imperative that whilst we are younger, we manage these conditions aggressively. We treat our high blood pressures, we treat our high cholesterol, we treat our diabetes, so that even if we develop these complications, we wouldn't have physical disabilities from these conditions. Because if you develop a stroke and if you have a stroke and your one side of your body is paralyzed, it definitely affects your gait and mobility, and it will increase your risk of falls and injuries. So these are some of the things that can happen to these demographics too.
And what are some of the uncommon ones? Some of the ones that are not very common, but you have still identified in your 20 years of practice as a geriatric doctor?
I would say that they are there, but we may not appreciate it, like pain from arthritis that limits their mobility. That also cause them to fall. Some may develop neuropathies, which is basically some pain sensation in the lower extremities that are complications of diabetes that also predispose them to falls. So arthritis is basically wear and tear. So that can manifest as pain and stiffness, and they may not associate it with, they may have the pain, but they don't think they need to be treated for it. So we have to recognize that these pain or stiffness need to be treated to improve their function and mobility.
Now, before we go, Doc, let's also talk about managing these conditions. In Ghana, we take the average person in Ghana, the average older person in Ghana who is experiencing any of these conditions. Let's say they have some support. Let's say they have a little money to go see a doctor. Let's say they have a little family support, averagely. What is your best advice for just before you get into that demographic, and once you get into that demographic and you start experiencing some of these symptoms? How do you manage those things?
So the key is preventive health or preventive medicine. So like I said, we have to have managed these conditions probably our whole lives, which means for these folks, we'll recommend that at least once a year they visit a doctor and get all their labs done. They may also need to see other specialties, like if they have they've had strokes before, they've had heart attacks before, they may want to see a cardiologist, or they may want to see a cardiologist or a neurologist. The other important thing is that, which I didn't touch, is the incidence of cataracts is very high in elderly patients. So they want to have their eyes checked at least once a year, so that when cataracts and glaucoma are picked up early, they can be managed. The cataract surgery is very, I won't say easy surgery because I don't do it, but it can be done within a day, and people can go home to their normal lives after the surgery. So the need to identify cataracts early and treat is also one thing. Sometimes there may be hearing impairment, and it could be as simple as ear wax. So it's all part of the examination. They can be seen, look into their ears looked at, and wax cleaned to improve their hearing. If the hearing doesn't improve, they can be sent to ENT to see if there's anything else that they need to do. So the general physical exam at least once a year is important. Having their eyes checked at least once a year is also important. And having to see other specialties is also important. The other thing too that I'll touch on is what we call polypharmacy. Just taking any medication at all. They have to always take medication that have been prescribed by their physicians.
I see, because there could be even like some medication that has been prescribed for them could be affected by something else that they're taking that has not been prescribed for them, right?
Exactly. And a common example is some like Benadryl. Some people take it for sleep, but actually it causes a lot of confusion in elderly patients. So it's something that we'll always tell them not to be taken. If you need something for sleep, we can always prescribe a more safer medication for sleep. But
it's not C2, is it?
What is that? What?
It's not C2.
No, it's not C2. It's over the counter. So you can always get it. But it helps people sleep. But the downside is that it can cause a lot of confusion and other undesirable effects in elderly patients. So we always frown on that.
I see. Dr. Yeboah, thank you very, very, very much for checking in with us today, for making time of your busy schedule to speak with us. As I said, we'll come back to you every now and then to get back to this subject, same subject. We'll be speaking about it every time, because I feel like in Ghana, we don't have enough protection for the demographic that we're talking about, especially when it comes to health. And if we're going to improve the quality of life for our people. It has to be mostly for older people and for younger people, right? So that those in the middle can help sustain both ends of it. Because guess what? We have passed through there and we're going there. So, it only makes sense, doesn't it?
And we definitely need the government to
do their part. Please speak on that for me as we wrap up.
And invest in that. So they are the cradle of our society, and we have to treat and respect them.
It is, after all, part of our culture, isn't it? We respect our elders.
Exactly.
So we can't just give them lip service respect. We have to provide the things for them that will make them enjoy life. Doc, before we go, please, you also mentioned incontinence at some point, right?
Yes.
How common is that? And what's your best advice for people in that demographic dealing with that situation? Of course, they have to see their doctor and all of that, but
it's one of those things that people will not volunteer to tell you. They won't volunteer, but you have to ask and probe. But people in that demographics are prone to that, especially females who are obviously postmenopausal and may have had 2 or 3 vaginal births, are usually at risk of that. And in males, the commonest cause is prostate problems, can be the cause of urinary incontinence. So they have to volunteer that information, which is not easy, but we always probe and then refer them to the appropriate specialties to help them manage.
We seem to have lost Dr. Ben Yeboah.
I'm here.
Oh, yes. Okay. All right. We have him right there. Sorry about that. We had a little trip over there. Please go on, Doc.
So, yes. So it's something that people will not volunteer, but we have to probe and recognize that this problem is there and refer them to the appropriate specialties to deal with it.
Dr. Ben Yeboah, one more time, thank you very much. My best regards to the family. And are you going to the Pescoba event? Where is it this year? In New Jersey? Maryland?
They said Maryland.
Maryland.
So we'll see.
We'll see, hopefully. Caliber, Texas, Maryland, New York,
Well, the Texas was, I heard it was unanimously voted for. So I don't know how it happened. Maybe it was due to some euphoria that I can't explain. But
I think next one should be in Texas. Then some of us too can stay home and so
give us a direct flight from Connecticut. We'll come to Texas.
I hope so. I definitely hope so. Doc, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Every time. Thank you.
All right. Okay then. Bye.
Dr. Ben Yeboah, U.S. board certified geriatric physician, speaking about geriatric health and some of the diseases, some of the common diseases that they have to deal with. Our next interview, hopefully, is with Farouk Al Wahab, who we are having a bit of an issue connecting with. But you did notice that I did not even go through today's editorial yet because we had Dr. Ben Yeboah already and I did not want to keep him waiting. So I cut straight to go do the the interview with Dr. Ben Yeboah. While we wait to connect with our next guest, Farouk Al Wahab, I will bring you the editorial. Are you ready? Okay, good day. My name is Kwesi, son. Bako, I come in peace. I come not to please. Here is the editorial. For today's consideration, let's all hail our illustrious legislature. Oh yes, let us. Today's editorial was originally advertised as When the Newsman Becomes the News. However, with the benefit of relevance, we made a last-minute editorial decision to hold off on that subject for now, to make way for perhaps a more pressing matter. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow countrymen and women, Ghanaians, let us all hail our awesome parliament. Oh yes, let us. Let us all hail the parliament who sat while let us all hail this parliament who sat while army personnel, allegedly on orders from one of them, invaded the house. Allegedly. And mark allegedly. Because that's where it ended. Nothing was heard of the matter anymore. So let us all hail our parliament who will promptly invite Black Rasta to answer or point a finger at who among them smoke ganja, but who have not sent out a single invite to any of the soldiers who had guns up their nostrils. Oh yes, let us hail them. Let us hail our illustrious parliament, because we have a parliament which not only entertains but also promotes some of their members who have criminal records. Allegedly. A member of parliament who has been cited by the Australian police for fraud is sitting and making laws for you and for me. And for this, let us all hail them, the gallant men and women of the Ghanaian legislature who go to work every day to make our lives better. Yes, by debating and imposing ridiculous taxes like e-levy and COVID taxes on the people. Let us hail them. Let us hail a parliament that finds it most convenient to negotiate comfortable salaries, allowances, per diems, and ex gratia for themselves, while minimum wage cannot even be naturally defined. How do Ghanaians on 1,000 cedi a month salary manage to feed, clothe, and pay utilities and still be taxed for COVID? Heck, some of us have even forgotten what that is. Hail to the heroic lawmakers who admitted that a businessman came to the house to bribe them over a matter, and yet the people at whose pleasure they serve have not heard nothing of that matter. After the recent incident during the vetting of ministers, the committee has found it necessary, I should say, to clear its image by promptly inviting Oliver Barker-Vormawor for a photo op. That's all it was, a photo op. I wonder why it is so focused on asserting its integrity, while all these matters are still, at best, pending, most likely dead. I believe some would also like me to hail you, most venerable parliament, for the show of hooliganism displayed at the vetting. But to be honest with you, I have seen worse elsewhere. Oh, I have seen the Kenyan parliament go at it like they were on UFC. I have seen the South Korean legislators exhibiting some dexterity at swinging and trading blows. Simply put, it is not particularly unparliamentary to misbehave a little, I guess. So I will not hail them for that one per se, except to say that while in these other examples that I've just cited, we find that there is something to be angry about. I struggle to find a reason for that juvenile exhibition of emotions at the appointment committee. So as I wrap up, Speaker Bagben. Mr. Speaker, sir, and the entire leadership of the House, you must realize that if the image of the Parliament is so important to you, it will take more than hauling innocent citizens before you for a photo op. We will need to see a House that truly cares. A House that truly cares about its image, not just to pay lip service to itself. My name is Kwesi Sonbakon. I come in peace. I come not to please. This has been the editorial. All right. Thank you very much for staying tuned. We should be having Farouk Al Wahab, who we're still having problems. We're having issues connecting to. So we're gonna go play. We're gonna go for a short musical break, after which we'll bring on our reporters and continue with the rest of the show. Please stay with us.
Welcome to Tucson Hotel, your ultimate home away from home. Located in the serene town of Ejisu Ichakrum, just off the Jabin Road, we offer you a haven of comfort and luxury. Step into our fully air-conditioned 40 bedrooms, where modern elegance meets convenience. Whether you choose our normal, standard, deluxe standard, or executive rooms, each one is equipped with Wi-Fi and DSTV, ensuring that you stay connected and entertained throughout your stay. Indulge your taste buds at our exquisite bar and restaurant, where our skilled chefs prepare a wide range of culinary delight to satisfy every palate. From local delicacies to international favorites, we have something for everyone. Planning a business meeting or a special event? Look no further than our state-of-the-art conference hall. With a capacity to accommodate 80 to 100 people, it is the perfect venue for your corporate gatherings or social celebrations. But that's not all. We proudly boast the largest recreational center in the Ejisu municipality. With a capacity to accommodate up to 2,000 people, it is the ideal location for concerts, weddings, and other grand events. It comes with 4 fully air-conditioned bedrooms and a kitchen as one package. Our luxury cars are also available for rent. Drive like a boss. To experience true hospitality and unmatched comfort, contact us today. Our friendly staff is ready to assist you. You can reach us at 0244 654 458, 0246 505 327, or 0241 418645. You can also email us at info@tucsonhotel@gmail.com. Tucson Hotel, your home away from home.
Hot a fire burn them. Red lava done them. Diarrhea run them. The wrath of God upon them.
And you cheaper, you sell some fire, you're killing people every day. Anytime you open your mouth, happy lie, you're leading my people astray.
Government by family and friend, corruption never end. And you tell us, said you were God sent, but when we turn around the bend, you thieving with a pen. Waffy with family, and I struggle for fed. And when you come after we, like the cock on the end. What a pity when we sell our dignity as men. Politicians them attack we from the rear end. Lead we to a dead end. And the fake preacher telling I feel repent. With the money in my pocket is the mountain I get. And when the gap are ever widen, fences can mend. So this question I send,
where the money there, 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 where the money there.
And me say where the money there.
I don't know.
Whoa, at the fire bonding. Until they change their mind, the wrath of God upon them.
Through your lies and deception, wrong education, you're poisoning yourself one way. But when the church and the state collaborate to keep us in slavery.
And by the ballot that the bullet, they put their gun to it head. Them say you have the right to talk, but talk too loud and you dead. It's like them have a different system for the leader and the led. Hurt to run red. So get the youth pulse rise and show them how things be run. If them can't do it, come and make we show them how we done. And we now no more room for them like them days are gone. Up your fire burner. What them say?
Where the money there, 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 where the money there.
And me say where the money there.
I don't know.
Where the money oh.
I don't know.
So where the money dey? Hiding in the Cayman Islands. So where the money dey? Invested in foreign lands. So where the money dey? Me personally, I don't know. So where the money dey? Where the money dey yo? And I mean say hot a fire burn there. Red lava down them. Diarrhea on them. And the wrath of God upon them. Until them change their mind. Wrath of God upon them. But for people clap, wrath of God upon them. All right. We're still asking where the money there. By the way, Oral fun way. Feel free to use the song for your before you go interrogate anybody. Then you play this song for them. You don't know where the money there. But they show where the money. No. All right. So we're still waiting to have our correspondents
online. I think that at this time we only have one of them, and we're just going to move on to that. I have to announce that we could not raise Farouk Al Wahab. He is at some spot where we're not able to reach him right now. We do sincerely apologize for that. But we're going to go on and bring our reporters and talk to you about what we have for today. And we have, hold on a second. All right, so please fix this thing straight away. What is this? Richard, pay attention. Fix this thing, please, at once. All right, leave it. No, not yet. Back. Leave it. Let go. I'll deal with it. All right. Thank you very much. Justice.
Boss.
Mid section. What's going on there? Fire call.
Regional Minister Yeboah no John Dramani Mahama Ghana no swearing in so at take place amazing say yakasay or ya Asante Regional Minister Dr. Frank Amwakohene or no ene Asante Regional Minister na edura wa call menshia himfie ono opem so
my voice so kakra mame justice my voice so kakra mame o voice for form my voice so
Regional Minister I hope so what the year pa
me too kasa koso
yeah ka Dr. Frank Oya Regional Minister Ashanti Regional Minister na enrada na otu ne nan ede call opemso ahemfie na otumfuo osetutu abebi otoso mienu okọ na ahemfie kwasra no obra John Dramani Mahama efiri so opa no se omamre ye soafo no wakọ honom se okwakoje na nanhira na eno na de otu okrore na obrawe nwoma so otumfuo osetutu abebi otoso mienu ka kire ne se omo mi fita luku emani ntie di obi eka na ono nenim dia a wako suku a ni suahunu ni nhunumu a wahunu no onfa nsom ne manfo na okasa kire mu tu no fo se wonhwe na de na manfo ka no mum na wontie na emani ntie obi a na mum omo asante mantam mu hanom no de temamufo na ka no na onfa nya adwuma no no do tu krore no obranwa wo maso de ni nhira eguso eta na chi a obo mpaye edema no bebi obekọ bia na honhom eta na chi enu nti no ndisi amanyokuo no emani nyina momoden se emwa bia amwako hene hia bia no omomoden na omfama no support bia wo hia bia no omo homoden bia se omode support no ebema Dr. Frank amwako hene afre nso so opemso na otumfuo se tutu abebi otoso mienu ekasa kire mu se asoye na yede ama no emanu mu no ho bomfia se ne mfie no wo fom esan se ohwa payi Dr. Amwakohene ne mfie no wo fom a wo se he is the youngest regional minister ever wo 34 years ohwa regional minister se do ma be bisu nyina no a wono na yebeka se oya akora na he is the 15th Ashanti regional minister under the 4th republic one na toso 15 dunum under 4th republic no Dr. Frank Amwakohene na enyo no nko na call menshia himfie on a regional coordinating council chief director Mr. Michael Owusu Amwako and after the general officer commanding central commander Brigadier General Michael Opoku and after regional commander Ashanti regional commander ECOP Mr. Frank Abrakwa and after regional commander of prisons Mr. James P. Umayele and after omo regional coordinating council ho nyina eboa no ma no kopie menhia hemfie na ɔkasa mu no na ɔhyɛ otumfoɔ bɔ sɛ ɔno nso so ɔmfa nnua nsisi n'aso na de ɔpɛ nso aka no ɛyɛ adeɛ a ɔno nso so ebedi soɔ na mema me remfiri na ɔpɛ nso aka kyerɛ no sɛ ohia mmoa biara ɔntwa n'ani nhwere manhyia ahemfie ɛma ne nhwɛ baabi a apart from sɛ ɔde n'ani bɛkyerɛ Jubilee House no ɔmfa n'ani nkyerɛ manhyia ahemfie na support biara manhyia wɔ no ɔmo nso so ɛyɛ ade a ɔmo de bɛma no ɛsiane sɛ de otu kurowere na ɔbragɔ ma soɔ ama yɛate aseɛ sɛ paneɛ koraa tɔ adumu a ɔwɔ manhyia a ɔte ɛno nti no ma ne mfa biribiara nsie no ma ne mfa biribiara hinta no na ɔno otumfoɔ sɛ tutɔ biribi ɔtɔ so mmienu no wayɛ krado sɛ ɔde n'akyi taa ɛbɛtaa n'akyi afei deɛ ɔtɔ so bio yɛn nyinaa yɛnim sɛ Hill Confront ayaresabea teaching hospital a otumfoɔ adonate almost $5 million sɛ yɛmfa nhyɛ ayaresabea no mu na yɛnsa ne yadeɛ otumfoɔ ama yɛate aseɛ sɛ obiri kɔmfoɔ Confront wanyare da ne si dan na asopiti ana hospital a yɛde ne din ato soɔ deɛ etimi yare nti aboafoɔ sɛ 2 million na awɔ koraa fabra sɛ 1 cedi mpo na ade bɛba fabra ne yɛmfa mmoa ɛno na otumfoɔ osetua baabi ɔtɔ so mmienu nam ne tumi so ɛne ne manfoɔ adi twi sɛ ɔmo kɔ hɔ no makɔ akɔyɛ inspection no mahwɛ baabi a project no aduro na ogu so srɛ sɛ sika bi a wɔ biara no fabra na momfa nhyɛ project nim sɛ ne bɛyɛ a ɔmo wɔ nkrampompuni mantam mu ɛne ɔmo wɔ ɛmefa ne sɛ ɛyɛ bono mantam mu ɔmo wɔ sirim mantifido mantam mu ɔmo ba asante mu ha no mo a na so ɔmo ho dodo ɔmo a hospital a ya ɔmo kɔ ɛyɛ Confront teaching hospital ɛno nti no obi a amoa na hospital no ntumi enyina ne naso nti no Justice Mafo we ne mama ne bɔ a me free asante mantam mu brɛ GH News now akitafoɔ ne yahwɛfoɔ ne yatiefoɔ nyinaa
ya ma money dwuma Justice na one for videos bi amrɛ yɛn na wotwi mu
video no na wotwi mu de na ma yɛ tight pa nti no mentimi anya video bi ana exclusive bi a menya yam sɛ logo bi da so na logo no wanhwɛ ana YouTube hɔ na yɛ stream na ɔmo strike no
okay
ayi bi watama da so no next week report na bɛba ne nyinaa no yɛbɛ make sure sɛ videos be di akyiri na yɛyɛ report ne nyinaa na yɛ introduce videos no sɛ na bɛyɛ report no ebedi mu
of course and afei no so open sa video say okay share maybe because of streaming intimi streaming but you can go to our website our YouTube channel that is you go watch them and afei so stories are you can go on our website www.ghnewsnow.com and go check them out. I'm also informed said that the stream is back on the mother platform on Radio Culture. And we are back live on Radio Culture as well. Thank you very much, Justice. Yebedase. All right, our Ashanti regional and mid-Ghana correspondent, Justice Mafo, bringing us those two stories in his report. We are going, I'm saying we're having challenges. I don't know what's going on with the internet in Ghana though. Like what's going on? Seriously. Sam George, Wabano, that's one of the things that I need you to talk about. And after your marking, speaking to that man for so long and the vital things that are really necessary. Listen, right now, social media, we all know what social media does. We all know what social media is. We all know the power of social media. Right now, social media is wrestling with traditional media, basically, right? How do people access social media? Through the data. Now, data, when I went to Ghana, I never understood how the data worked. Right? I never understood how. Now what to be? Now what to? And then you buy like, let's say you buy like 200 CDs. So you say, okay, and the side Memento 500. Sakra before the 200. Like what's going on there? It's confusing. We need to streamline this and we need to make data cheap and available for people so they can access the internet. The growth of Ghana, the 24-hour economy and all of that, much of that is going to depend on people's access to the internet. So it's vital that data is made easily, readily available for people to use, and also to be made quality for people to use. Right now, I'm not sure what's going on. Anyhow, let's move on. I don't think we can bring you our other correspondence for today as well. So we're going to go straight to our new segment. Right after this break, we'll be going and presenting you the maiden edition of our new segment called Emma Formula, right? Emma Formula is exclusively for women. It's just women voicing out. That's all it is. Women voicing out. And for this week's episode, I'll introduce that to you as soon as we come back from this short commercial break. Okay, so we bring you the maiden edition of Emma Formula. Emma Formula, what Emma Formula is, I've already mentioned, is it's just women voicing out. Right now, on the first episode, we went out to ask some women what they think about Ghana voting in the first female vice president. The first female vice president. We went to go ask women about how they feel about Ghana voting in the first female vice president. Let's go and watch straight away. Maiden edition, Emma Formula. Let's go.
Manuela. I'm feminized. Material, manager because every time any fee me who be sad. So Baba be vice president. She said, "Your president, elect you be a vice or your bad. I so I manage it. Some of your bad, so I'm very proud of it. See, I manage it for many.
Oh, it's very nice. Emma, yes, we are. Yes, Oba or vice president. And I know, say, because of your band, to bring up a diamond, a man who is boy, a man. It's me. You beat me up. It's very nice to say it's me, no banner. And no encouraging manners will be as so. By home. Also, it's me. You don't watch me. I don't know. So be this up and pensioning. It's very nice to say, vice president.
Oh, maybe I'm not here there. Many different cause. If you say you want me, I'm buy me bed so on 24. Me who say obey the other vice and I say Bibi Sandy.
Yeah, need pa. Because I shall man you when I'm Ghana from ma. If you ask a man, I shall any when yam. Say Bibi said in your pee. I'm a ma.
Oh, yes, Waba. So, over boy, ama near my penal.
Oh, yes, and yes, she said, Bama, ye youth now, ye bano. Yes, so Obi or Pepane say, obey vice president, that should be no. Or no, Sabe encouraging a man who say, oh, when your man don't want to bet me, but a man who's bet me.
Oh, there be another. And yes, son, I say it miss you. As far as a man is the head of the family. So you can't say because of say when your position opportunity abinya position being into obey marker say there be. But say we need to respect each other. We need to respect each other. So oba no so why no and munyam say emma man nyina no doesn't mean say you should not respect men. We're supposed to respect men whether we like it or not. Bible said it, they are the head of the family, so we're supposed to give them maximum respect. But they're too supposed to respect us too, because yes, we see a bit near and you go ban no ban say ebu and in an say we a bema now fear and just say so boo no ban say ebu and no says or ban it me who bema so boo and no bring challenge between you and the ban put me and no ye. So sweat me and obey man so ya Yeboah a beboa mo man up so come.
I mean, nothing that the man said,
waba no omeboa ye na bia mebru na yesusu foforo no oni omanpanyin nkasa na omboa ye ne ensie nya baby pensie nya adwumanye na omo kostu no omo so omoa omo na omo tuntumi ko no mebo omenya bra baby papa ensi no mo that o metimi abo ma ofo
ebema ye mana eba no school no omo ko no mbayire wo mo ho akọ school no asua de akọ animu fi se omo hu se they say obeti mi di vice president dia ebe hye nkola ni nkran ama omo so ayire omo ho asua de akọ animu
Nti oba yero hu ne sua de de o so yero hu na di first na osusu da chi wetimi akosoro nti mma no so encourage omu so munyiro mu sua de na umunyiro mu so omu so betimi aye more than oba so betimi abe president one day. We are hoping that one day oba so be president of Ghana. Prayers to be.
Oh, the make actually youth ni say e mo month na faako. Omunyi omu na omunko school no eye. E na so wantimi anko school da onfa bibi na onfa nensa enye. No wantimi me panyin party say de maami aba be panyin papa.
o me futu se ma me de ba mo ne se ese insan adwuma no eye na insan adwuma unni insan adwuma be ma bi ho no ma unni adwuma obeya onfa wonye so nti se unya insan adwuma utumi nya bibi kakra a obetumi e de akọwa no na de aboa abusia nti me futu am de ma mo so mo ma ni ngre na so mbe ko so mo ko omo nkon so a omo ni pa adwuma bi a ombeye na omo so omo timi de aboa omo ne abusia no.
Yes. Oh, a man de in more opportunity. A very nice am I because a big woman and a man who but I am more. It's money now more opportunity. A man and a man grow up. Bet me as for certain things up. A man near my faster man. Any man in fact a big woman manipula more. I chain man. Who man manipula more chamber and it's a man in Bamwa. A you good woman. So boss bit me be president ebesi enti enu de nyame pɛ no ebebam nti e bom paye say one day oba bit me aye bold on to eti me agina say oba be president enim say mma ye wo ha nyina be support no na bibia ye fine nti e bom paye say mma no ye nua no monketua no bit me afọ mo de serious na o mayiro mu hu no masia ade no matimi achieve bibia support mo family na da achieve o matimi e dey encourage about mine no mine so akoso akra meeting aka chine na
Kame akosia.
so me from amitiwa
Me de Manuela.
me am fobi
Very nice.
Okay, sorry about all that mix up. Guys, you need to be a bit more on point with this with this switching thing. It looks terrible. Anyhow, all right. So yeah, that was the maiden edition of Emma Formula. We will bring you more every week. We'll have that segment, of course, a lot more polished, and we are going to cross over right now to go speak with. I think we lost him again. We had one of our correspondents who was ready to speak with us. Ajenodia was going to come with that to us with a report, but the internet is depressing. Sam George, you have a big challenge. You be somebody where you're heavy on delivery of words and everything. I'm not saying this in a negative way. I'm saying you are somebody who's very intelligent. You have fine ideas. You have very workable ideas. Do something about the internet in Ghana, both the quality and the quantity, as in the cost. I see my brother entering the green room now. Let's give him a quick minute and we'll be crossing over to go speak to him. Our correspondent, Nana Nimo Bafo Akrepim Ajenudia. Nana Nimo Bafo Akrepim Ajenudia. Nanimo. Hello? Hello. Ajenodia. What's your main car? Hello, Ajenodia. What's your main car? Hello. Okay, one more time. Let's cross over and speak with our correspondent, Nana Nimo Bafo Akrepim Ajenodia. Ajenodia, Timin Cafe. Hello.
Pacha, good evening. No, Mejo so bro.
Yo, yeah, that's it.
Hello.
Yes. Fire call. I didn't know
my name's
Today's show is going to be a demonstration of the point that I've been making for the past 10 to 15 minutes. Ghana needs better internet. The amount of money that people are paying in Ghana for internet, it makes no sense that we should have this quality of internet. It makes no sense. Member company be adding, generally speaking, it makes no sense. We're going to give you one more shot. Hopefully, we'll be able to connect with Nana Nimo for Akrepim Ajenodia. If not, what is going to probably happen is that we will have to wrap up the show for today and come back next week. But we'll give it one more shot. Please stay with us. Enjoy Spada music. All right, third time lucky. Nana Nimo Bafo Akrepim Ajenodia. Nana Timinka.
Raswa Daruma Meton Kapa.
You're Danyamiasi. Fire call. A him for now war and a DNA cost war.
Hello.
Fire call Nana.
Wadaruma. Me pacha sa wote menka de a.
Betonka call.
Na yentinsim na yenhwe ensama hodo a na wotwe esi muin idi atrantwi wo Ewia. Enti said na America made in Kanya Sanso Chamati for any Afrofuna Biona Mubia Muni Jumasona Wayata, she said a bear soma yesum so a year of fin to dear chili. Na Raso Daruma say Oba Brumantamuya and semi-breed that mountain so no chin so sounds on as a Oko Bono up with Yamantamometre Bunu Eastin Swa. And also now what you know, Yan Shadan Tensam Debinum and Fruho. The sentimentum so Yan Shep Bono Mantamuha. Na Bono Mantamuha, say you were German South and I feel or German North, Nina so Cambro Mantam Hubi. Na German South, but I should be near or Troma de Mano or no Ejina any people Manu Kuni Dimu. Na ono de nananom ne otwedi ampongira na chi esenti bra oto abani wie na ono na abefa mrahye bedwa adwa atena po kwadwo damoa na bra wo free ne nto abase ne titire o sha asese o bo nto ada ase ada nananom ne ne mpesua no so ni panyina ase wo sompa wade som no se wonyina tie na sem na bre no so yokoto abama no na e wo se odo mase na aseda no mu no ade kupie jape krom okọ jape krom a dikra wo ho eye nana amoa etura konkonchi onene dikra wo jape krom esenti ontumi nkokuru no wabra wonko na nanem nan so abra okuru na nanim na ode tura na ene wona na atwehye wonyina ene mu se sade wodo no na odwen ne ho adwempa ede se debration nsa no ono nso frase tu na mompa sade be ye jape krom ena afei German South abato mpesua no so betumi aye krabehwe enti mpuntu ahodo a osefata bia nso no ono nso frase otu ho na monsa de be ye nyina betumi abam na esan se ye ba ani pipe.
All right. Fortunately, we have Gerhard Anaho, our correspondent from northern Ghana, on with us now. Gerhard, can you hear me? Hello, Gerhard, can you hear me? Hello, Gerhard. Okay, all right. Gerhard cannot hear me for some reason. I don't know. Let's go back to Ajenodia. Ajenodia, me pacho to asomani.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Ranswa daruma besre network ninti. Na menu guso a na me chechire mu se. Onabo kwadwo damoa call ya oto amama no wo German South amato mpesua no so. Efrase a oda nananom ene wo na oto abama nyina se. Se ode wo kokrumuti ma no so ono me ona emfa mrahye bedwa adwa ntana so. Ewo German South. Enti nana amoa ature konkonchi enso so de asadabra ne ma no se ono nso so bra woto abama ne wiye no wantana fa akon amfa ne nsa anhwere de brefam ne mom otutu anamon aba nananom nan so na ode ho asada
internet. Richard, if there are any videos for this story, get them ready, cue them so we can play them, okay? So we're not just sitting and waiting. If you have any videos for Genodia's story, cue them up so we can play them when they go off, and then when they come back, they can just take it off right from where we left off.
Unity constituency have a free chairman, secretary, organizer, any executive for Akenyano, Yankasa or Nonkwa Enko, Yenina Yeboah Chidom, if you send you in Guma Pa or Bar constituency ham, or near BD, just so you will be a buy and one fancy Timu Ama or share set constituency no, Yenina Yabeka and one boom.
I think this is the wrong story. I think this is the wrong video. I think this is the wrong video for the story. Okay. All right. Don't play any videos now. Richard, please. Don't play any videos.
mampɔn.
Wrong video again. Wrong video. All right, Gerhard, let's go. What's going on where you are? I know there's a bit of latency, so I'll just give it a few seconds. Hopefully you can hear me, Gerhard.
Yeah, very, very good evening from my side to all our cherished viewers. Sure. The network is really. Yeah, can you hear me? Wow. Ras, can you hear me?
Go ahead, Gerhard. I can hear you. Your speak is going to take another few seconds before you can hear me, which is why I'm signaling to you to just go ahead. Go ahead, Gerhard.
Okay. So what is happening in the Upper East?
Go for it, Gerhard. Go ahead.
Okay, is that region are blessed that the President of the Republic of Ghana has finally sworn in Honorable Donatu Sakamu Kriatana, who is the regional minister, or who was the regional minister, now the regional minister of the Upper East region.
Ladies and gentlemen, you realize that we're doing our very best to bring you the show, but since morning, you know what? Let me spend that time to talk about this seriously, because if we are going to make any progress as a nation, this is unacceptable. Since morning, we're preparing for the show. I woke up, because of time zone difference and everything. By the time I wake up, my team in Ghana is already preparing and all of that. I wake up, first thing that hits me is, the lights are off, right? So the lights are off. We don't even know if the show is going to happen because it's a coordinated show. Part of the show happens from Studio 1 in Texas. Part of the show happens from Studio 2 in Kumasi. Now, if there's lights out in Kumasi, it affects the coordination. After a while, thankfully, we got past the light thing. I think the light was restored. And now, internet. And these are two vital things that we need to progress as a nation in this current day and age. Right? Now, I know plans have been made to curb doomsday and everything, but have plans been made to curb something that we haven't even given a name to yet? The doomsday of internet. Like, what's going on? The internet is practically all sorts of ways. And we need to talk about that. It is not acceptable. It is not acceptable at all. if we're going to interface with the rest of the world, if we're going to plug into the general geopolitics, general geoculture of the world, if we're going to make any progress, period, we need good, reliable internet. Good, reliable, accessible, cheap internet. And this is something that I will be taking up. I will definitely be taking this now because this is disgusting. Like, you prepared the whole entire week for your show. You get your guests, you get your material, you spend money, you buy data to download videos and prepare them, and you edit the videos and you caption and you do whatnot, only to come and sit here and not even be able to connect on the internet. Shameful. Thank you very much for tuning in for today. I don't think I'm even in the mood to continue the show today. This is just, I don't know how to describe it. I'm going to go before I use words that I should probably not. My name is Kwesi Sonbako. Thank you for catching us on iCulture TV, Radio Culture Today. We'll see you next week, God willing, with better internet. Goodbye.
Sitting here meditating and pondering on the ways of the world today, thinking of my people Africa and the state of the continent today. How mothers fed their children today, as granny goes down on her knees every day and prays. How many souls are dying from causes that could be prevented if we did have leaders who cared for us today? Oh, 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 oh. Zion and Yahweh. Zion away. Zion away. Africa rise, yo. Every 4 years, the politician say he's your servant today. After you vote for them, they metamorphose into your masters. I say, have your say, we'll have our way. Not no strange, it's cow demon crosses. Meanwhile, souls are dying from causes that could be prevented if we did have leaders who cared for us today. Zion and Yahweh. Zion away. Zion away.
Never ever quit, just a little bit longer. Victory is near, they're gonna disappear, go under. The leaders, them no care, never tend to share. Babylon quit, the shedding of blood. Your heart a go suffer if you show no love. Stay away, righteousness. What the God the nation if for no righteousness? Just make sure the children live.
I pray for the future generation not to give up this fight. I pray for the children of tomorrow not to sell out their birthright. Cause when I look afar, I see the strangers eating up your food. Another form of slavery is coming here again. And that's why people are dying. Causes that could be prevented. Oh yes, we do need some better leadership today. Zayana Yahweh, Zayana, Zayana, Africa, rise, don't be as the day breaks, I see my people rising up again, shaking up all the shackles. I see my people shaking up those chains. The lion with the mane, blood of the slain will never be in vain. Never. No. We don't want to see no more people dying from causes of